Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. We are from Group 6, and today we are going to explain about the output design, and later we will present our project of Kurang Laku output design. So, first of all, I'm going to explain about the objective of the output design. The first one, the first objective is serving the intended purposes. This means that the output is designed to accomplish the user or organizational needs. For example, like a business dashboard that is used for the aggregation of sales figure to be used by the sales director. The second is that it delivers the right quality of output. This means that the user can use the information from the output to make a decision. And the third objective is to deliver it to the right place. So this means that you can maintain the quality of the output. And the fourth objective is to provide input on time. So this last objective means that it makes sure that the output is provided when and where it is needed. For example, if the sales department system produce an output from their sales information system, so the output can be used by the department that is related with the sales department also. And these four objectives are basically based on the content of the output itself. So next, there are two contents or two kinds of outputs, the internal outputs and external outputs. So internal outputs stay inside the system to support the system's user and managers. Whether the external output leave the system to trigger action on the part of their recipients or confirm action to their recipient. Okay. There are four kinds of internal outputs. The first is detailed reports, summary reports, and exceptional reports. So this is the example of detailed reports. It presents information with little or no filtering restriction. Some detailed reports are historical in nature, and detailed reports confirm and document the successful processing of transactions and serve as an audit trail for subsequent management inquiry. Next is the summary reports, and these are the example of the summary reports. It categorizes information for managers. Next is the exceptional reports. It filters data before it is presented to the manager as information. And exceptional reports only report exception to some conditions or standard. So the second one, the external outputs, it is based content that is supposed to be given to the third party. This output is basically for the parties that related to the company or have potential to be related to the company in a transactional basis. So next is the output method or media. We can pick our most effective output method in this several method, which is printer, display screen, audio output, and podcast, mobile devices, and electronic output. So the first method is the printed output as the media and a display screen output. Other digital outputs are the audio outputs, podcast and video. And there are also more ever-presenting output methods such as mobile devices, including mobile phone, tablet, and laptop. There are also multi-purpose electronic outputs such as email, websites, blogs, and RSS feeds. All of these different methods mentioned have their own advantages and disadvantages. As you can see here, printed method is very simple and affordable. However, it is environmentally unfriendly, while the mobile device's output is very interactive. And however, it has smaller screen or a little confusing to operate. So there are advantage and disadvantage. And maybe next can be presented by my colleague.
So I will continue on the presentation about the output design. So regarding on how to avoid the bias, we should notice the sources, make sure that they are valid, and we are responsibility for its transparency and also the clarity. Include users on the process, so we could lessen the number of miscommunication, and also do not forget to serve flexibility and training to users. And basic steps to do graphical and display output. I think these methods are very basic for us who wants to plan any design platforms. Firstly, we should know the objectives, prepare valid data, and make everything simple and also informative. And for the dashboards and infographics was one example of the output system or output design. So dashboards shows like the one which we see on the vehicles. For example, on the car dashboards, we see speedometer and another thing that informs us about their measurement, about their position and others. And dashboards serve informative data like this. It doesn't give a lot of statements, but then it is more into numbers, and yeah, it shows comparisons between one another. And for the infographics, we are already familiar to these posters. As we all know, infographics is the combination of data, graphics, and also another content that shows one information, one fact, or one news in one simple poster like this. So it is very design attractive, so people could just absorb one information in one just simple content. And what you need to know, responsive web design means that a website that is developed and it could be viewed on any devices from desktop, tablet, or smartphone. For example, when you access FABOGM websites, it will look very wide in the PC, but then when it comes to the welcoming or landing page in the smartphone, it could look very small, but then there's no worries. Maybe the size of the text could be smaller, but then you still can access those features. For example, like maybe access the registration part, or yeah. Um, the thing is, we could access the same features in any gadgets we use. And how to design a website, use valid tools, compare sites and examine them, use storyboarding, and also wireframing and mockups. Maybe for this picture, I would like to present about flat web design. So nowadays, maybe we could take a look at the logos of social medias that we use. For example, like Instagram or Facebook. We are leaving 3D design like this. And for the websites, how to create a website. So we should complete these matters first: the structure, the content, text, graphics, presentation style, navigation, and promotion. And make sure it enables our customers or our targets to serve at our website easily. And maybe nowadays it will be very easy to create such websites. For example, you could use Jasterweb like this when I found it on the social media. It is quite cheap, or you could use Iniaga Hoster and other services to help you. And maybe for the payment or for the cost, you should pay for some rupiahs for 1 year using of the domain of the websites. And yeah, you could learn from this business. And next is about social media, internet and XMLs. And there's one term that is quite relate to us nowadays. It's bookmarking, to label the things that are essential for you. And we use social media to profit yourself with ethics and certain methods. As we all take a look on the social media, um, it already shows that it became the digital life of a person. People could have their businesses on the social media platform. They could pour up their information, their knowledge on that platform and others. So make sure should be ethical, and we should always integrate with up-to-date technologies. And next, about XML document, it could be transformed into different output media types, and the methods of XMLs are extensive style language transformations, Ajax, and also cascading style sheets. And maybe I would like to share some insight for those of you who'd like to learn about social media thingy. When you are trying to engage yourself on the business matters, I think it's very flexible to take a look on these insightful events. And most of these events are quite practical, so you could learn here. It could be free and up to paid.
You, my previous colleagues. So, hello, Mr. Gugu and friends. And in this part of the presentation, I'm gonna present the Kurang Laku design. This is based on the DVD level 10 based on the previous assignment. So, what this is what the our group has conceptualized. The output design process, the customer part. This is the website. So the first one is there is the landing page, like right here, where you can click to start the browsing process. And this is the home page. There are several movies that are popular this month, so the customer can see what kind of movie there is this month's favorite, and there is the new releases, like the new releases that the Kurang Laku can show it to the customers. And if you use maybe iPhone or maybe few devices that have 3D dots, there is a brief description of film by a long press of one of the film icons. So if you press it like the 3D dots, there is a brief description of the movie that is shown in this homepage. So if you scroll down again, there is a filter button that that's gonna be filtered by category, genre, and etc. And if you press long enough, there is a full movie information like the rating, like the synopsis, summary, and the cast. So in the last option, there is a terms and condition for borrowing and maybe landing the Kurang Laku DVD, or maybe how to buy or rent the Kurang Laku DVD. So this is the output design, the process that create item list to collect. So if the customer have finished or completed the order, maybe the employee can create a printout of a list for items to collect before heading to the warehouse to collect the item. So below is the example, a brief or short example of the list. If maybe the customer A want to purchase like Pirates of the Caribbean, Fast and Furious 7, Frozen, and The Lone Ranger, the employee must print out the list of items so they can bring out to the warehouse for checking. So that is from the employee part. This is from the customer part. If the customer have purchased and already make the transaction, there is a print out receipt. So this is the printed output from Kurang Laku DVD. So in Kurang Laku, the business process is collecting money from customers and is issuing receipts. So this process, particularly the process 3.2, which is a print receipt, requires an output design. The receipt on the left is an example of Kurang Laku receipt design for clients. The name of the address, the date, and the time of purchase, the payment method, start posting, item name, item price, total balance, and a barcode for DVD return are all included on the receipt. So as we can see here, there is the name of the purchaser. This is the short amount of list that they are buying. This is the barcode for checking, and this is the subtitle and the and that's it, I think, for my part of presentation. Thank you for listening. May you have a great day. Thank you.